I'm Michael.
And welcome to Uplift Stitches. We are a married couple, and this channel is a place where we mostly talk about cross stitch.
But we also talk a little bit about our board game hobby.
That's right, and all the things that our hearts get us into.
Yeah, so today is September 1st.
Yeah, Sunday, September 1st, 2024.
Which is almost fall, and I am super excited about that because
That's your favorite time.
I do love fall. It is my favorite time of year. Look forward to all the pumpkin treats and the s'mores, chili. That's just my favorite time. I love fall. So.
Yeah.
If you're new to us, we're glad you're here. Welcome, and hope you like what you see.
Yeah. If you're a returning viewer and friend, hello. It's so nice to see you again. We're so glad that you're spending some time with us today. We hope that you've had the best month that you can.
Yeah. So there's something else special about this one. This is our 1 year Flossiversary.
Yeah, it's our 1 year Flossiversary. We've been doing this for a year.
It's hard to believe it's been a year. It's been a crazy year, but it's been also a wonderful year with the wonderful community we have here.
Yeah, it's been such a joy for us to be a little bit more involved in this community than we were a year ago. We've made so many wonderful friends, and yeah, it's just been really exciting. So if you're a person who's been thinking about doing a Flosstube, we would encourage you to try it because it's just been a really great experience for us. Also, this wouldn't have been such a great experience without all of you being a part of our lives this last year.
Yes, I mean it's brought really such joy to our lives, really, because we've had some troubling times over the last year, and it's really been a comfort to be able to be a part of this community. We're
just so appreciative and thankful, and we hope that the year ahead is filled with more videos and time together.
Yes, and I guess a little bit. If you're new here, we usually do a little brief life update first before we move into our cross stitch projects, and then we kind of end with our board games.
We do timestamps, so if you're not interested in any of that, you should be able to, when you pause the video, see those little notches, and you can kind of fast forward to the part that you're interested in.
Yeah, so I don't think we have a whole lot on life updates.
I mean, today, we only filmed 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right. It's been 3 weeks. I know we had the extra, which makes it feel even less.
Yeah,
for us.
We did do a Flosstube extra about our experience at Gen Con 2024, which is a gaming convention. So if that's something that's interesting to you, you can go back and watch. That's our other most recent video.
Yeah. So it's only been 3 weeks. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
We
did have a game day with friends.
We did have a game day with friends. A lot of fun. That was.
They know that we've been kind of having a hard time, so they said, "We're going to make you comfort food.
Yes.
We're going to play games and just let your stress melt away." And it was just what we needed.
It's exactly what we needed. And it's always fun to play games regardless, but it was definitely a welcome retreat from everything else that was going on.
We've had some time with family.
You've
been really busy with work.
Work has been super busy.
The beginning of the semester is always the most stressful.
Semester started. Faculty are melting down about things that are going wrong. Of course, I'm one of the campus admins, so I'm helping solve all their problems because they waited till the last minute to check things, which is something they complain to students about. It's been good though, overall. I mean, it's been stressful.
In our last video, we kind of mentioned that we've been helping to care for someone, and we're still doing that. So that's kind of taken up a lot of our time and energy.
Yeah.
And then also, I've been having some health issues, so I'm kind of on a path of I'll be seeing a specialist sometime soon, and hopefully that'll help answer a lot of questions and kind of help me to feel more normal.
More like
I haven't felt normal for a very long time, so I think this is a good direction to be heading.
It's definitely a very good direction. I'm hopeful about where things are going. So it's been a little bit of a chaotic, busy 3 weeks.
It's been a real busy 3 weeks, and really, I did do a lot of stitching. Okay, I always say I didn't do a lot of stitching, but then everyone's like, "Wow, you did a lot of stitching," but
I feel like we didn't do as much stitching this month, just because everything's been so crazy. Yeah. So I didn't have nearly as much stitching as I anticipated, but I know it's only been 3 weeks. But but I think that's pretty much it for life updates. We didn't do a whole lot in the 3 weeks. Besides,
because also with caring for the person and me not feeling the best, there were some things that we had to cancel. Yeah. Some fun things that we had to cancel. So, that happens.
It is what it is, right?
But it just means we have less to talk about in our life update.
Yes. But that means we can also move right into our cross stitch.
Yeah, it does.
So I think we usually do finishes and stuff first. So I don't have any.
Yeah, we don't have any fully finished things.
No.
But I did finish 3 things in the span of 4 days.
Yes, I have no finishes, so this will be the Melanie show for now.
Oh my gosh, last week it was like I had kind of been getting things to a point where I knew that they were going to be finished soon, but then they just like snap, 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 we're all finished.
Yeah, she kept turning on, here's a finish. Here's the finish. I'm like, wow.
So the first thing that I finished since I saw you last time is Garden Magic by Flossy Fox Shop. I always want to mix up and say Foxy Floss Shop. That's not it. It's Flossy Fox Shop. This is a piece that I started back in February for the Year of the Dragon SAL, hosted by Samantha the Hookah Stitcher and Erica of Fibers and Floss Canada. And it's been such a fun experience to see everybody's dragons throughout the year. But yeah, I kind of really fell in love with this pattern. It's so bright and fun. And
here it is.
Here it is. And here it is up close. Oh my gosh, I just want to live next door to this little witch and her dragon friends and help them with their garden. I love this so much. So I think when I showed it to you last time, I had finished everything along the bottom and I was kind of planning how I was going to get to the dragon wing. So I came over and did all these trees up here and then came down, and that made it so much easier to fill in the rest of the dragon. And then I saved the little witch and her tiny dragon friend for last. But yeah, I loved every stitch of this. I stitched this on 36 count Periwinkle by Colour&Cotton, and I used all the called for threads. I stitched 1/2.
Do you have any ideas how you're going to fully finish it?
I think I'm going to get a little frame, if I can find like a purple frame or a white frame.
White frame would be nice too, yeah.
Yeah. It's just going to live somewhere here in the craft room, so it doesn't have to be fancy. I want the stitching to stand out more than the frame, but
yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, I love it. So that was my first finish. My second finish was something that I mentioned I was close to a finish on, but I was waiting on threads from 1, 2, 3 Stitch, and those arrived. I think the day after we filmed.
The day after we filmed, it arrived.
But. So that is my Prairie Schooler Santa, and I did the 1994 Santa, which is this one with the sunflowers. Eventually, I'm going to stitch all 3 of these, but I started this for Jolly July, Christmas in July stitching this year, and I have finished. Jumbo Santa.
Every time I look at this, it makes me happy.
It's so good.
It also inspires me to want to try pearl cotton stitching.
Yeah, I would encourage everyone who's curious about it to try it. So as Michael said, I used number 3 pearl cottons for this, and they're DMC. So I just used the exact same numbers that were called for in regular DMC floss. I think there was only one, like they don't have the full range of colors available in pearl cottons. Yeah. So I think this orange that I put around the center of the sunflower was a different color. I just used, there's a DMC to DMC conversion.
Online, it's a website for it.
Yeah, and I used that and picked one of the colors that was close that was available in pearl cotton. So, and I stitched this on 7 count Sand Klostern by Wichelt. And yeah, I love how this turned out. All I had left was the bottom of Santa's coat, all that red.
All the red. You ran out of red.
Yeah, but now it's finished, and I love this so much. I think I'm going to turn this into a big pillow.
Yeah, it'll be a good Christmas thing this year, I think.
Well, Santa's good for all times.
He is, but...
That's how I feel. He's going to be out all the time. Yeah, but I love this so much. It was such a great experience. It went so much faster than I thought it was going to. It did take a lot more thread than I thought it was going to also. But yeah, I love this.
Yeah, so, how many skeins of red did you actually use?
I used 2.
2, okay.
Yeah. And then the third thing that I finished is Flowers for Sylvia by Dee at Dee's 20 Stitches. I had started this in June. Dee had gender affirming surgery, and so I started this on that day to kind of think of him and send healing thoughts his way. And I love this so much. Yeah. It turned out so beautifully. I love how vibrant these colors are. I used all the called for threads, And I stitched this on a mystery linen. This was from a grab bag from Colour&Cotton. I think it's a 32 count. I used 2 strands to stitch. And I think it's got the right amount of fullness with that. So I'm guessing it's somewhere around a 32 count. Yeah. I had a heck of a time with all of the French knots. French knots are not my favorite. And I didn't realize that when I was looking at the pattern that there were going to be so many. Dee, why'd you do this to me? There was a lot of French knots in that. Why, Dee? Why? But I did them all. I did them all. Some of them are wonky and some of them look great.
But you can't really tell unless you look too close.
No. And I love this so much. I love this quote by trans activist Sylvia Rivera. We are not ashamed of who we are. And I'm looking forward to having this somewhere in my craft room. I'm probably going to get a small frame for this one. Yay!
Yay for finishes.
Yay for finishes. 3 finishes.
I thought I would have a finish and didn't quite make the finish.
You were very close.
I was close.
Yeah, you are very close.
I am. Yeah, I am. I didn't love. I am very close. But
yeah. So next we'll talk about our works in progress.
Yes, I guess I have more whips than you do.
You do. Since I finished those 3 things, I only have 2.
Yeah. So so the first one that I'll show is my Forest Fairytale SAL by Quaternion. This one, I think we're on.
Well, we'll show the people where we were.
Yeah, we'll show the people where we were. I'll put that picture up there. That's probably a good idea because I'm actually been mostly keeping up with the SAL. So I'm really happy that I'm able to. I had to stop working on one of my SALs to keep up with the other 2. But I'm doing this on 20 count California Sage Aida by Live&DyeLA, and I'm doing it 1/1. This is the full pattern. You can see the one I'm working on down below there. It's not quite finished. That's called the White Cats. I'm not familiar with that fairy tale, but this is where I am, so I can kind of show you a little bit where it is. That's the one I'm working on, and that's the one I just finished. Was the 7 Dwarfs, and then the one on the left there. Those are the 2 right before that. So I'm actually not stitching with the called fours though. I didn't like the color palette. It made the fairy tales feel too a little bit too dark for me. Because it was black. The main color was black, and so I changed it to some Colour&Cottons. One of them's
and this was your first time really working with variegated thread?
It is. It is. So I decided,
and I think it's looking great.
I really like the way
you're doing awesome job.
I like the way it's coming out. I think the color combinations work really well. So for those who are, I think I said this probably a while back, but I used the Adobe color coordinator to kind of help coordinate the 3 different colors so they complement each other. But I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but that helped me kind of get the colors initially, and then we went in person to look at the at the store, which was a little overwhelming with the wall, but I think I figured out pretty good setup. So I really like the way this one's turning out. It's one of my favorite ones. So this was actually inspired by Andrew the Runner Stitcher with one project he was working on, the Odyssey. He worked on that a lot, and so I may be end up doing another Quaternion one at some point here. But so that's my first whip. What is your next whip?
Well, another thing that I worked on this month is Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. I started this for my birthday in 2023, and I thought I was going to get a finish, if you remember.
You did. You were getting close.
Every time I think I'm going to get a finish, I realize that I'm missing thread. And I thought I had got all the thread that I needed, but I did not. Spoiler alert, I did not. So here is what it looks like.
You want me to hold the side?
No. Yeah, here's where it is. So it's looking really great. You can tell I'm like so close.
She is. She's super close.
So incredibly close to a finish. So this last week I worked on the flowers down here. I was missing the actual flower part of these 2 flowers. So I did those, except I ran out of the light color. So I gotta, once I get that, it'll be really quick to fill in. I also did all of the like doodads, sparkly things down here. I hadn't done those yet. So I did that, and then all I have left after I fill in this is there's some over 1 words, which I've already charted, but I'll need to do that. And then there's a border at the top that's just like the border at the bottom, and that was another one of the colors I had thought I had gotten, but had not. So when I get those colors, this will be a quick finish.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy working on this project. I really like it a lot. I'm stitching this on, I didn't make notes for today.
Oh,
I know it's a 28 count. I want to say it's Oaken or Wren by picture this. Plus, I'll put it on the screen. Editing Melanie. Do some magic. Yeah, and I'm stitching this with all the called for over-dyed threads, 2/2.
It's a beautiful project.
It is beautiful. And I saw Katie the Novel Stitcher finished hers. I think she had started, her and Sarah from Sarah Stitch She's Bought started their stitch along around the same time as my birthday. So I know I saw Katie's finished.
Katie's finished, yeah.
And I know Sarah said she was going to be working on it. So.
And you're going to be working on it as soon as you get those. So
the three of us will be done sometime.
Yeah. So my next one is the one I thought I would have finished, but I did not quite make it. This is my Stardew Valley SAL by J. Marie. By Jim Marie Does Crafts, and there is a Facebook group for that. The SAL is actually finished now. All the drops have happened. But like a second.
Well, we can show where we were.
I can show where I was. I'll put a photo like right there, and then so that's kind of where I was. I was pretty close as it was. I mean, I didn't have a whole lot to finish, but this is the way it's looking at the moment. Which it's getting really close. You can see I have some background fill to do. The ones I finished, I don't remember. I don't think, did I have this one?
I think you were working on that one.
I think I was working on this one, which is like a meteorite that has fallen on your farm. And this is the one kind of indicating if you get married in the game. So I did finish all the backstitching on those. Those are all done. I have the name of the thing up top here. And then
the designer gave you letters.
She gave us letters.
Create a farm name.
She gave us letters. You just have to keep it within a certain number of letters to kind of get it. So I need to center that and get that stitched and then finish the background. And there's some up here. There's a little bit of back stitching that needs to be done. So this is the way it's kind of turning out. But I really enjoyed this. The SAL makes me a little sad that it's ending.
Aww.
But I'm pretty happy with it. There are a number of motifs that did not get stitched because you choose on a number of them. I've been throwing around the idea of doing like a calendar with all the different motifs from this, and I'm not sure which month it would be, but that was just an idea I had.
Yeah.
So I might do that at some point.
Yeah.
So
that'd be cool.
But I've used mostly the colored fours on the project. I did change out the water for the pond to make it
and you did create one of those.
I did create one of the motifs
designs
on there. So, but other than that, it's pretty much the colored fours, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun face group. Seeing all the different posts of people putting their projects up. So that was my second whip. That should be a finish next month, but we'll see. So yeah, on your last.
Yeah, the other thing that I've been working on this week is 324 Fireworks by ABC. I had started this on March 24th along with a whole bunch of people, and I really like this a lot.
It's a very pretty project.
Yeah. And here is what it looks like. Yeah.
I like it.
So I've done everything like here and down this week. Because this goes pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's a lot of color changing because each of these motifs is a different color. It's called 324 because there's 324 different colors being used. But really, each motif goes pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing holding you back on some of it is just not having the color.
Right, you can see there's some gaps. My parents had gifted me some, and another kind friend reached out to me about filling in some more of my gaps. So that's very sweet and generous. But yeah, I really enjoyed working on this week. I've been kind of doing the bigger motifs when I have more energy early in the evening, and then as the evening goes on, I'll fill in the
smaller ones,
the smaller squares. But yeah, I'm really loving how this is looking. I'm stitching this on 36 count Sky Linen by my Vintage Needle Arts, and I'm using all the called for Dancy threads. 1/2.
Yeah, very pretty.
I love it.
All right, so my last whip is also a part of a SAL that it didn't start as a SAL, but when
it was your vacation start.
It was my vacation start, but it actually fit a SAL that's going on right now called "Let Your Lighthouse Shine" SAL. So,
which is being run by Andrew the Runner Stitcher, Laura at Live&DyeLA Stitches, and Alex of Salix Stitches.
So, I mean, it fits perfectly because it is a lighthouse. This one is Lighthouse by White Raven Patterns. And I'm doing this one on 20 count White Zweigart, Aida. And I'm doing it 1/1 with a call for. So I made a little progress. I had most of this finished here. I really just started the new page. I only got like a day or so.
Yeah, I think you only worked on that last night.
Yeah, so it's not bad for one day.
That's a lot.
I thought I would have more time this month to work on, but I didn't even get to all the projects I thought I was going to get to because life. But
yeah, that's okay.
So yeah, this is this was my my cruise ship start when we went out to Alaska. So it kind of fit really well.
Because one of the excursions that you took was a tour of a lighthouse.
It was a tour of a lighthouse, and the color scheme also made me feel like very Alaska-ish. So I'm really happy with this one. I'm hoping to get more work on it next month or this coming month, but it was not in the plans this month.
That's all right.
So, but that is all of my whips.
Yeah, me too. Well, did you work on your secret project?
Oh yeah, well yes. You're right. I forgot about that. I did have a day or two. I worked on my secret project, and I can't obviously say what that is because I think the person watches, but.
I didn't work on my secret project.
I did work on mine. I'm hoping to get a lot more on this month and try to get it close to finish this month. So we'll see how that goes too.
Yeah.
But once I have that finished, I'll do a little recording before I send it off. And then once I know the person has it, we can put it in one of our videos. But that's it for my whips. I had 3 I can show. So I do have some other starts coming up. So I think that's what do we talk about next usually?
Usually we talk about purchases.
I don't
think we had any. I had placed that 1, 2, 3 order beforehand, and all that it had was pearl cotton. I got the red, and then I also got white because I have another Prairie Schooler Santa I'm going to start in December.
You need white, obviously.
Needed both red and white.
Yeah, so I don't have any purchases at all this month, but I'm saving them for this upcoming events.
We're planning on going to the Needlework Galleria, which is held at the MC Suites in St. Charles, Missouri.
Yeah. Which is not too far from us.
Yeah, it's just in a few weekends.
Yeah, it's in 2 weekends.
I'm not sure what day we'll be there, but if you're going, we'd love to see you.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going, if you're local, especially, come. We'd love to chat and see you. But I'm excited because I have a number of things I want to look for there.
Yeah, I think we both do.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a number of patterns. Also, Grace Notes Fabrics is going to be there, which I've never used their fabric, but every Flosstuber I've seen who's shown it has been really beautiful, so I'm interested in seeing it in person. Yes, and maybe coming home with some.
I need to stock up them. I have a lot of more neutrally fabrics, but I don't have a lot of darker, bolder ones, which I like a lot. I guess that's probably why I have more of those left. More of the neutrals left.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool people there, so we're interested in seeing what there's going to be. Probably our purchase section of the next video is going to be significantly longer.
Yes. We do plan for that, so it's definitely
that's part of why we didn't have any this month.
Yes, we were intentionally not spending to spend this month.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it for purchases. Do we have Stitching Kindness? I do have a Stitching Kindness that I can share.
Yeah, last time I showed that my mom had made me a purple butterfly project bag.
Yes, and now I have a project bag which suits my spirit very well. This is a fall project bag she made for me. I really like the pattern. It's really beautiful, and of course it reminds me of fall, which is my favorite time of year. And the zipper is left-handed, which is I am left-handed, so it fits me really well. But you can see it's got like a nice polka dot pattern in the center.
She put this cool little like scissor charm.
There's like a scissor charm, and so it's really great. I've been using it already for one of my projects, but thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you very much. So that was my Stitching Kindness I had this month.
So next we'll talk about plans.
Next we talk about plans. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Let's talk about our combined plan.
Oh yeah, our combined plan. Yes, we do have a combined plan because we are doing a start along together. Not exactly a start along. I guess we're just starting the same day.
Yeah.
We were going to be doing a pattern from the Cross Stitch in the Forest by Max Page, which I have. I will show it. Most of you probably have seen this at this point. But this is the book that we're getting our patterns from. I have them bookmarked so I can show that.
And Helen D is already doing Stitch Along. Do you remember the name of it?
No.
I think you wrote it
down. Did I write it down? Maybe I did write it down.
You have notes.
Yes, the Pigeon Coop Book SAL. I have notes by Helen D.
Yeah, Helen D is hosting that.
So we're going to be joining that.
We're joining in that, but,
Yeah.
I think it's just like a join in whenever.
It is a joining whenever. So
because I think she had already started a while ago.
She had started a while back, but
I think we don't have a set day that we're going to start. I think there's just going to be a day where we look at each other and say, today's the day.
Today's the day. So the one I'm going to be stitching, and I have yours bookmarked, you can show as well.
Thank you.
So this is Once Upon a Star. This is what the pattern looks like. Try not to get a glare. So I'm really excited to stitch this one. I am doing it on 20 count Black Aida. And I think it's going to look really good. I had a hard time choosing because there's so many in there I like and I want to stitch. But this one is going to be a lot of fun to stitch.
Yeah, and this one is mine.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to be doing the Rowdy J because I thought that was cute and fall-like.
It is.
And I'm actually going to do mine on a yellow fabric. I have this fabric that had been passed to me because it was a very small count. And I put the yellows that are called for on here on it, and they're going to stand out. So I think it's going to be really cool. That blue against the yellow.
I think it's going to look great.
Yeah, so we're really excited about starting those.
Yeah, we don't know exactly when it'll be. Sometime September.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's our joint start along for each other.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's our joint plan. I have one other one that I may or may not start this month. It depends on if I can find the fabric at the gallery we're going to. But I had mentioned my 63 USA National Parks one. I kind of have figured out what I want to do with that. I do need to figure out the extended count that I'm adding to the pattern because I'm going to do 5 in a row, I think, 5 or 6 in a row. And or maybe I think it was 7 because it's a multiplier of 63, so they all kind of line up right.
Yeah.
But I'm adding like a place for a green border around each of them to say that I've done them, and then a text below each of them for like a date when we both visited the parks. So it'll be kind of a fun little way of tracking that kind of stuff. But I'm probably just going to use a white Aida. That's what I'm thinking. But I need to get a large one because it's a pretty big project. So
you're going to need a lot.
Yes, I'm going to need a lot of fabric for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be quite large.
So if I could find one a large, I should be able to. I mean, just white Aida should be findable, but that might be a start toward the end of the month, depending on how the other projects are going. Because I will finish. I'm going to finish the Stardew Valley SAL. But my other plan is it's going to be starting in October rather than so. But I am going to be starting the Festive Frosted Pumpkin Cottage.
Yeah, you mentioned in our last video that you had purchased it.
I had purchased it. It's by the Witchy Stitcher. I am going to do that on 20 count probably, but I don't have the fabric.
That's another thing where you're hoping to find the fabric.
I'm thinking some kind of a charcoal or gray, dark grayish one, but I'm not 100% sure. I have to see what I can find. If I see something else that inspires me that's not charcoal gray, I will also probably buy that. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But that is part of the pumpkin birthday SAL that Laura from Stitching by the Shore is doing. So I'm going to go ahead and join that SAL. But I think those are my, as far as starts go, that's my future starts. You have some?
Yeah, so I don't know. I told Michael I'm not sure about my plans for this month, but I have like ideas of things I might do, so I'm going to go ahead and show those to you. That may change, but it may be something that I go with. So I'm not sure if I'll get into spooky stitching in September or October.
Well,
So I'm going to show you my spooky stitching plans in case that I'm inspired to this month. One of them is a whip that I already have, Counting Puddles Spooktacular Party. I started this last year, I think in September. And this is how far I am. So I have a lot of work left to do on this, so maybe I'll continue on this.
Seeing these projects brings me joy because it's part of fall.
I also have a Halloweeny pattern that I might start. That is Sleepy Hollow by Hello from Liz Matthews. And I was kind of looking at fabrics the other day. I pulled all the flosses that I'm going to need already. And I kind of have 2 fabric options. Maybe everyone can give me whatever.
give her some thoughts on what you think.
I have this 18 count. I think it's almond.
Almond, yeah.
which I think it could look good on that. I think it's kind of similar to what's pictured on the pattern cover. Or I have this 32 count Cleveland Winter Sky by Laura's Fabrics, which is kind of like a spooky, cloudy, can I do this? Gray.
I like that one.
You like this one?
I like that, but we'll see.
That's what I was leaning toward, but then I was second guessing myself.
We'll see what they think. I kind of like that one. Yeah,
friends, tell me your opinion.
Yes.
So that may be a start this month. Another thing that I've been thinking about getting back to is Snow Tunes by the Design Connection Incorporated. This was a pattern that was gifted to me by Frosty the Snowman a few years ago. And I have done,
You've done a few.
I had started this for summer cross-stitch camp last year. Because I think one of the prompts was to do something you hadn't done before, and these call for fuzzy stuff, which I've never used before. So I started it then, and I had done, which ones did I start with? These 3.
Yeah, you've done those 3 first.
Then, during that summer camp part. And I'm waiting to do the back stitching until I finish all of them. Because I know there's also beads on these. So I think I'm going to do the back stitching and beading at the same time. Kind of like I would with a Mill Hill kit. I'm doing these on a perforated paper. I don't remember the name of it. Maybe Editing Me will put that on the screen. And then at some point last year, I think maybe Christmas in July last year.
Yeah.
I worked on these 2.
That sounds right.
I don't remember.
That sounds
There
right.
was at some point I worked on these last year. So there are, I think, 8 of these, and I have 5. So I have 3 more left to do. 3 more to do
before you do the back stitching.
So I might work on those 3 this month and get it to the point where all I'll have left is the back stitching, beads, and fuzzy stuff. I'm not sure. That's an idea I have wiggling around. Another thing I might do is work on my Little Sheep Virtues by Little House Needleworks. I only have 2 of these left. Love and Courage. And I had started this last year in March 2023.
Yeah, it was March.
So these have been, like, I was kind of keeping up with doing 2 every other month or 3 every, whatever. I got behind. So these are my 2 that I have left, so I might work on these. That's a possibility. Also, I've been thinking about getting back to Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut, because this I had worked on really intensely last year for Baptist school, which I think some people are doing again this year. So I thought, well, I could pull this out, or for Sampler September, it would fit that also. So this is where I am on that. So I thought for September, my focus could be to finish this border and start working on the border that comes around this way. So that's also a possibility for this month. It's just going to be a matter of
lots of possibilities,
time and energy and what sounds good in the moment.
Yeah, I have a lot of my other projects I'll be working on too.
Yeah. Also, we are going to Galleria, so maybe I'll get 1,000 shiny new things, and I won't want to work on any of that because I'll just want to sit on the new things.
I can guarantee we'll probably come home with at least a few shiny new patterns.
Yeah. So it's entirely possible that I'll only work on new things after that happens.
My poor fantasy castle may or may not get worked on. I wanted to this month, didn't happen. Depending on the shiny new things that come home, it may not get worked on this coming month.
Yeah.
Or I may try to push myself to get a few days in before we go to Galleria. So afterwards, it probably won't ever happen this month. I just know myself. But I know the other ones I'll be working on. So
yeah.
But I think that's it for my plans. Do you have any other plans? That's pretty much it.
I think that's pretty much it.
So do you have any sewing?
Yes, I did do a little bit of sewing. I think the last time I had shown a quilt top that I had finished, and I mentioned that I had a few others kind of in my head that if I had time and energy I would work on, and I did start another quilt. I'll have to insert a picture because I have it laid out on a spare bed right now.
Yeah,
it's just kind of in block form, but I'm doing it's called Dressed to the Nines quilt, and I followed a video tutorial from Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I'm using the Mercantile line by Lori Holt, and I brought 2 blocks in just so you can kind of see. It's a really pretty fabric line. It's a lot of florals, and then I added I want to say this was eggshell by Moda. But it's, I used what's it called? A layer cake.
Layer cake, that's right.
And a charm pack for the white. So I'm at the point where I have to make one block because one of my blocks I cut and it went a little bit wonky. So I need to make one, and then I can start assembling them together sometime when I have the energy for that task. But I'm loving these beautiful prints, and the fabric had been gifted to me, so it's nice to use that fabric and think about the people who gifted it to me.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a beautiful quilt for myself.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's entirely for you.
Yeah.
I know the last couple you did were for other people, so.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it until we get to the board game.
That's it for fiber things.
That's it for fiber things. So if you're just here for cross stitch, we hope you enjoyed sharing some of our joys with them, some of these projects with us.
Yeah.
We hope you have a good September. Enjoy the coming fall weather.
Or the coming spring.
Or the coming spring, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
But we're grateful for having you as part of our community. If you're new here and you enjoyed our video so far but are leaving us, we hope you'll subscribe and like the video and all the wonderful things we do in this community. And we will get ready to transition to our board games.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are we back? Good idea. All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right. We are back. And grew in it? No, we are back. And we have our board games. But first, you kind of usually do an overview of the games we played this month, right?
Right. And this month, I have 2 separate graphics.
Yes.
Because I have one for the games we played at Gen Con, and then one for the games we played the rest of the month.
Yeah, which are separate, but there's a lot on each list. So.
Yeah. If you want to hear more in depth, talk about the games that we played at Gen Con, the specific games we played at Gen Con, you can watch our Gen Con 2024 video.
Yes.
I was trying to remember what the name of it was. I think
that's what you called it. You called it Gen Con 2020.
Okay, so here's a list of the games we played at Gen Con. Trekking Through History, Tesseract, Stone Spine Architects, Mezen, Number Drop, Gnome Hollow, Pollen, Tzolk'in the Mayan Calendar, Draft and Write Records, Pick-a-Pen Reefs, The Stuff of Legend, Message from the Stars, The Art Project, Cascadia Rolling Rivers, Agueda City of Umbrellas, Happy Home, River of Gold, Mission Control Critical Orbit, and Citizens of the Spark.
And that took place all in 4 days.
That took place all in 4 days. And some of those we played multiple times.
Yes.
We did have a game day with our friends. And on that day we played Flip 7, 3 games of The Loop, Gnome Hollow, Worm Span, and 2 games of Tesseract. We played all of our shiny new games with my dad.
Yes, we did.
She loved. And then we also had a day where we played a bunch of games with your mom.
Yes, we did.
We played 5 games of Connect 4, 2 games of Uno, and 1 of Flip 7.
But she seemed to enjoy that one pretty well, too.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then we played multiple games of Gnome Hollow, Number Drop, Tesseract, and Trekking Through History. We also played 1 game each of Azul Master Chocolatier and Welcome to the Doomsday version.
Yeah.
And then we got a shiny new game yesterday.
Which we played once.
Which is Wild Gardens.
So we probably won't talk about Wild Gardens until we've played it more, but...
Yeah.
But we've played at least some of these 4 times or more.
Yeah, and the ones that we played 4 times or more are the games that we brought home from Gen Con.
So we're getting a lot of good use out of them already.
Yeah. So do we want to talk a little bit about them?
Yeah, we can talk a little about them. Let's do that. So I guess you want me to start with this one?
Yeah, start with that one.
So this is the first one we played at Gen Con.
Yeah.
This is called Trekking Through History. And for those of you who have played like Trekking the National Parks.
Yeah, they have a whole series of the Trekking Through games.
It's the same people who made that, but it does play very differently from that.
Which is why we were curious to try it.
Yeah, and we ended up really liking it. Obviously, we liked it enough to get it, so we liked it a lot.
Yeah. It's a game where you are a time traveler, and you are trying to... You have like an itinerary that you're trying to cover with these little tokens. And you do that by visiting certain time...
Events, basically. You're going through and visiting different time periods,
right,
and witnessing events because you're like a tourist, I guess.
Yeah, that's a better way of saying it.
you're a tourist going back through time to see different events in history, and each time you go, you have one trip, and then
you're trying to put them in chronological order.
You're putting them in chronological order. If you have to start over because you can't fit anything, that trip ends and you start a new trip essentially.
And, so you do this over 3 rounds.
Do it over 3 rounds, and you get points based on how long your trek is essentially. So it behooves you to try to build the longest one you can. There are things called time crystals, which allow you to fudge how much time it takes to go to each of the events essentially. Because you have a little track.
Because time is like a resource.
Yes, time is a resource you have. You have so much time to go through and do these throughout the course of one round's playthrough. Once everybody's got through that round, the next round will start. And there'll be all new cards that come out, and the cards you were using go away essentially.
Now, one of the cool things is that we got this at the consignment store from someone who was looking to get rid of their copy.
Yes.
And it was the Kickstarter Special Edition. Which meant that it came with a solo mode.
Yes.
Which I played 3 times.
She enjoyed it a lot.
I really liked it a lot. I played it on the easy setting once, and I felt like that was too easy for me. So then I changed to the medium setting. And that was a great challenge. I lost 1 game and then I won 1 game, but it was so close. I wasn't sure if I was going to win.
Yeah, it's good. Always fun to find a game that has a good solo, because sometimes you just need a game that there's not somebody to play a game with. Some solos don't work. This one worked really well, you said. So we really enjoyed that one a lot, though. Definitely check it out.
It's a great family weight game.
It's easy.
The box says ages 10 and up, but I think you could play with the younger if their math is...
Yeah.
Because you're just putting things in chronological order, so if they understand the numbers...
Yeah. As long as they understand that, they should have not
Also, one cool thing about the cards, as Michael said, they are related to historical events. So on one side of the card is the graphics that you need for the game, and on the other side of the card, it actually has a text about that event, that specific event.
So it's kind of fun to learn little snippets about some of the different unique events in history. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun playing that. We played that with your dad, played it ourselves.
Yeah. Another game that we had picked up in the consignment store at that same time is Number Drop. This is like, do you have any interest in playing a paper version of Tetris? Because that is what this is. Like a pencil and paper.
It's pretty much Tetris. The only small change is you can't manipulate the shapes so they can't move them. They just come straight down.
Yeah. So it's a roll and write game. So you roll dice and then you use those numbers in whatever shape is also rolled on the dice, and you place that in your grid. Yeah.
And you're trying to fill up your grid just like you would in Tetris, with complete lines, because you get points for that.
Except you're filling in these shapes with the numbers, so you're trying to organize the numbers in such a way that you're getting runs and sets.
Yes, because you get points for different lengths of runs and sets in the game as you get them and mark them off. If you get the same length of number and set, there's actually what would you call that?
It's called like the drop or something.
The drop or something. So when you get that,
it drops a shape in the other people's.
And the shape is in X's instead of numbers, so it's not usable for making the number sets. It can be used to complete a row, but it does basically just messes with them a little bit. It's not a whole lot of it, but it does. It's kind of a fun element.
Yeah. We love games that are like this. And also it has a great solo variant, which I've tried. I think I also played this one 3 times solo. And I really like that. There's like certain scores that you're trying to beat. So
yeah. So it's a quick game. It's kind of one of our early mornings typically to wake up, or sometimes, or
just a little bit lighter game.
Yeah. It's
I mean, there's numbers. So
there's numbers, but there's not a lot of addition.
It's the style of game that we like to play in those kinds of situations.
Yeah. So that was the second one. The third one is another very interesting. We were intrigued by it. It's called Tesseract. This
was one that both of us picked to try at Gen Con.
We both picked to try because we both were intrigued by it. It's very different from really almost anything we have. It's a dice manipulation game. It's cooperative. And you essentially have the Tesseract cube at the beginning.
Yeah, at the start of the game, you form a cube out of all of these dice. And the whole point of the game is you're trying to contain one of each color and pattern on a separate board.
Correct.
So you're spending the game kind of taking dice off of it, rolling them, manipulating them so that you can achieve that goal.
And then, of course, some dice, as each round goes on, escape from the Tesseract on their own, and as they chain together, they can cause explosions, which is one of the ways you lose the game.
Yeah.
And each player has a different role that has a slightly unique ability to help manipulate and help each other out, because you can trade dice back and forth, and they encourage you to talk through to each other to what the best move might be, because really, if you don't work together, you're going to lose. But it's a lot of fun. There's not a whole lot of math, a tiny bit, but it's really about just manipulating dice to make them fit what you need to fit.
It I would say it's like, I don't know, like in the vein of Pandemic,
probably in the vein
or
of
something
Pandemic,
like that, because it's like that where there's a limited number of actions that you can take on your turn, but you really do have to work together.
Yeah,
just like in that kind of a game.
Yeah, that's a good comparison to Pandemic, because you really, I mean, what's optimal for you might not be the optimal move for the group, and so you kind of have to keep that in mind. But I like it a lot.
We had a lot of fun. Our friends also really liked it a lot.
Yeah. It gets kind of chaotic. I mean, I think we won more than we've lost. Is that accurate?
I think we've only lost once.
I think we've only lost once.
And we've won maybe 4 times, 5 times.
Yeah. So it's of course, most of the time we were playing on the easiest setting.
Yes. There are different.
There are different boards that it sits on that affect how easy it is. So we did win one on a harder setting at the Gen Con, but so that was Tesseract. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely worth giving it a try if you want something kind of different.
And then the last game that came home with us that we really liked a lot is Gnome Hollow. Yeah. This was a brand new game that was released at Gen Con, and we both picked to play this.
We did.
And we were hearing a lot of hype about it, and we were like, is this going to live up to that?
Is this all hype, or is this actually a fun game? And it is a super fun game. It was a fun game. There's echoes a little bit of Carcassonne in some ways.
Just the road part.
Because you're building roads. But otherwise, it's very much unique, its own thing.
Yeah, so you play as 2 little gnomes that are, well, each player has 2 little gnomes.
Each player has 2 little gnomes.
And you're building these little rings of mushrooms that have different colored mushrooms on them. And you're trying to complete rings to gain the mushrooms.
Correct.
And then you're turning in the mushrooms at the market to get points.
Yeah, you're getting little trinkets, tokens.
Which are points.
Which are points. And you're also trying to collect different color flowers as you're building as well. Because there's, I don't know, 8 different color flowers, I think. Something like
I don't remember.
Something like that. And it plays pretty quickly, and everybody's building off the same central hub. The one rule is you can't build on somebody else's ring if they've claimed it unless they give you permission. So that you can't. It's not really a backstabby game, as some games could be. And it's just a lot of, I think there's a few different things you can do on your turn. Typically, one of them is taking 2 tiles to put, but then you can also do a gnome action, which is either claim a route to reserve it so nobody else can use that, or you can go to market, or you can sell stuff, or you claim a flower you don't have. So
it's a fun, cute game.
It's a fun, cute game. The artwork is beautiful. I really like the artwork a lot.
Yeah, it's a great family game.
It's pretty easy to understand and pick up too, I think. Overall.
There's also 2 modes. There's a regular side, and then there's an advanced side, which we haven't even tried yet.
No, we have not tried the advanced side, which has a lot more restrictions on what you're trying to build towards.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very hard. We'll try it at some point.
I think that's going to make it really challenging.
I think we'll try it at some point, but we weren't quite ready yet.
Yeah.
So, but I would definitely check it out.
We had fun. Our friends had fun. My dad had fun. I think everybody
who's played it with us has had fun. Everybody at the Gen Con seemed to have fun with it. So... At least the ones at our table. I can't speak for all the other tables. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that game a lot. I'm glad we bought it.
Yeah.
I think that's it for our board games, though, for this month. Right?
Yeah, for this month.
So, but that's quite a bit of gaming. So, especially in 3 weeks, because basically it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the end of this video for now. Guess if you stayed with us long, you must have liked something we said, right? No, we're really grateful for you to be here, and
it means so much to us that you've spent some time with us today. We hope that you have the best month that you can.
Yes, enjoy the things you love with the people you love this month, and enjoy the coming fall weather, which I am already enjoying.
Yeah, we'll be back sometime in the beginning of October.
Sometime beginning of October, we'll be back, and until then, we'll hope Sylvia see you back here soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
We love you.
Love you.
Bye.